Do you believe your son received a fair trial?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. And we're going to keep fighting. We will not stop fighting for justice for my son.
I feel stupid for even power to you try to make you believe what I believe. Because I really believe that, fam. Nigga, I don't want against my own people trying to convince black.
Now, this situation has officially turned into something way bigger than just a courtroom verdict. Karmelo Anthony was found guilty. He was hit with a 5-year sentence. And almost immediately, the conversation online exploded in two completely different directions. One side is saying the jury saw the evidence, rejected self-defense, and delivered justice for Austin Metcalf's family. But the other side is asking a much darker question. Did Karmelo's family trust the wrong people, follow the wrong advice, and walk into a trial strategy that they now believe failed them? And that's where Charleston White suddenly becomes one of the most talked about names in the entire story. Because after the verdict came down, Charleston didn't just react like a commentator. He sounded personal. He sounded emotional. He sounded like a man who knew the family, had conversations behind the scenes, and now felt like something had gone terribly wrong. But here's the part that makes this so intense. Charleston was not always standing where he is standing now. Early on, this case had people split, confused, angry, and reacting off partial information. But once Charleston connected with Karmelo's family and said he learned more about the situation, his tone changed completely. And now, after a guilty verdict, a 5-year sentence, and an appeal already being discussed, Charleston is saying he is willing to put real money behind Karmelo's next legal fight. Listen closely to what he says next, because this is where the story starts moving from public opinion into regret, guilt, and appeal money.
Yeah, I'm putting up the $75,000 for the kids' appeal. Oh, so yeah. I was just why turn radio on that when you call. Yeah, I'm putting it. They need 150, but I'm putting up 75. But I'm trying to raise $1 million. This you. Send me the links when you got it. I will. So I'm finna set up an interview with with the dad and say Cheese TV and a black church with a black pastor who I'm trust. And this will be the mom and dad first time talking. Let me just say this. Black people hurt this family.
Now, when Charleston says the family was hurt, you have to understand why this case became so explosive in the first place. The original incident happened at a school track meet in Frisco, Texas. It was supposed to be kids competing, families watching, and students waiting out the rain under team tents. But within minutes, a confrontation under one of those tents turned deadly, and 2 families were destroyed forever. In court, prosecutors argued this was not self-defense. Their position was that a shove or confrontation did not justify deadly force. The defense, on the other hand, argued Karmelo acted in fear, in chaos, and believed he had to protect himself in that moment. That is the exact split that turned this case into a national debate. People were not just arguing about what happened under the tent, they were arguing about fear, race, self-defense, youth, school safety, and whether the justice system treated everyone the same. But after the jury came back with murder, not manslaughter, and after the sentence landed at 35 years, the attention shifted to the trial itself. People started asking about the jury, the lawyers, the strategy, and whether the family had been pushed into trusting a plan they now regret. And this is where Charleston's emotion starts making more sense. Because he is not just talking like somebody reacting to headlines. He is talking like somebody who feels he may have encouraged confidence in a system that, in the end, did not deliver the outcome he believed was possible. So, when he starts apologizing, this is not just a regular reaction. This sounds like a man trying to explain how badly he misread the room.
I feel stupid for even power to you try to make you believe what I believe. Because I really believe that, fam. Nigga, I don't want against my own people trying to convince black people white people is good, homie. But all white people ain't bad. Why? I ain't never met a bunch of bad white people. So when I saw an all-white jury, I called you and told you, have no fear. White people ain't that bad. I had faith in an all-white jury, didn't I? Thanks. Didn't I, Memphis? I feel horrible because I'm trying to strengthen your faith with my faith in white people, homie. I told you, man, that white jury go do right by her. I told you that, homie, and I believed it. I feel foolish. I feel stupid for even power to you trying to make you believe what I believe. Because I really believe that, fam. Nigga, I don't want to get my own people trying to convince black people white people is good, homie. Owning to look like a fool in such a case. It's hard to defend, man. It's hard to defend what we see, homie. When they defend the Chinese man, George saw it laid on the ground, homie, and didn't flinch. And white people had no compassion for him. So why would I expect him to have compassion for a kid who has epilepsy like an autistic kid? This kid have saved more children's lives as a kid, unintentionally, than he ever thrown a punch and had a fight. I paid for a training to teach the kid how to throw a punch last year. The kids don't even know how to throw a punch, man. I paid a trainer to go teach him how to fight. And you know what the trainer said? Homie, fight ain't in him. He a good kid. Even the trainer said ain't in him, homie. So he didn't go back to training no more. Teach him to be good. He a good kid. Like, damn. Man, I can't believe though, white. Homie, man, listen. We're gonna make it right. And one thing I know about the white man, the only way to beat him is you can beat him with his law. I did. I served time for white man. Bragged about it. I've committed summer more. I ain't got nothing on my record. No felony conviction or what. And I got a murder for a white man. So if white people can do that for me, I'll do it for your son too. Front page paper. My brother, my homeboy chipped in it. I'm the only black man I know that ever served time for killing a white man. Stood over and watched him die. That's a badge of honor to me. And white people can't take that from me. So during these times when I close my eyes, my heart smile. Cause I done something I know they wish I was dead for. They can't take that from me. And guess what? Yo boy got the same thing. When he lay in the bed and smile and feel weak, he can feel strong. His nature kicked in where he was afraid and scared. And when he was afraid and scared of them two big bully white boys, his nature kicked in. And nature's first rule is to self-preserve. So he was too afraid to stand up and face the bullies. So he sat there subservient, like, sitting down is a sign of submission. So he was already submitting to the white boys. When he tried to come put their hands on him, his fear and nature kicked in. He didn't have a knife. Hey, listen, your lawyers were supposed to object to every time they mention a knife for it to be on record. It wasn't a knife. It was a multi-fashional tool. Multi-tool that the state of Texas should that listen to me. Because if it was a knife, he would have 15 or 20 more years for bringing a weapon to school. That's the smoking gun. If it was a knife, it wouldn't be 30 years, it'd be 60. Because the knife enhances it for bringing a weapon around children to a school. The judge wasn't supposed to let that lingo into the courtroom. This is not a knife. Correction. Object, Your Honor. It wasn't a knife. Object, Your Honor. It wasn't a knife. It was a tool. And kids pack it to school in elementary. Thanks. How do you become a knife with it? Because it's a tool. Just like a danger with knowledge. That's what makes us dangerous, knowing what they know. So my mama sent me to know what white people know. I'm smarter than any white person you can pick before my face. I know more than they know. I know everything about white people and black people. History, science, English, math, technology. I went to every school white people went to. I didn't want to know nothing black people know. That's how I got so many guns and black people don't. That's why I taught politics and black people don't. That's why I taught law. Can't no white man beat me. That's why I ain't got no felony convictions. And I brag about the shit I've done with nothing on my record. I could be lying. It ain't on my record, but I've done it. And they know it too. My mind and my mouth is more dangerous than that courtroom. They knew it. Why I can overturn law. We got juvenile life without parole abolished in America. It took us a few years to do it, but we got it done. I ain't lost shit, school. I ain't lost shit, school. Oh. And I got the world paying attention to what I'm saying, good or bad. Just like I got Aiden Ross to donate to the Metcalf family. I got people working on millions. I got people working on getting you $1 million like they got Chud. What app going through GoFundMe?
But the biggest twist came when Karmelo's parents finally sat down and spoke publicly after the verdict. Because until that moment, a lot of people online were trying to guess what the family really felt. Did they blame the jury? Did they blame the lawyers? Did they blame the way the case was presented? Or did they blame themselves for trusting people around them? And then Karmelo's father said something that immediately grabbed the internet's attention. He talked about being told who not to speak to. He talked about wishing he had been more rebellious. And then he said they were told to go get white attorneys. That one line changed the conversation instantly, because now people were no longer just debating what happened at the track meet. They were debating who advised this family, who shaped their legal direction, and whether the family now believes that advice led them into a setup. This is the moment where the story gets heavier, because you can hear two parents dealing with grief, guilt, anger, and confusion all at the same time. Watch how they answer when they are asked if Karmelo received a fair trial.
Believe your son received a fair trial?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. And we're gonna keep fighting. We will not stop fighting for justice for my son.
And as parents, have you all struggled with guilt? Asking yourselves, is there anything differently? I know, Kayla, you said you wish you had gone to that track meet. Is there anything that you both wish you could have done differently?
I wish I would have just been rebellious. I was told, don't talk to this person. Don't talk to this person. I feel like it was just a setup. Now, so they told us, go get white attorneys. Every black person I went to a white attorney. No white attorney, they set them up. Pushed them. Hey, here you go. I mean, no objections. It was things were smooth. So because as a father of me being who I am, I got to make sure she's straight. This mama bad. I got to make sure she's straight mentally, because if she's not straight, my house ain't straight. I'm not straight. Then so because I got the kids to worry about. Got to make sure his mental health. I can't go back and forth with him right in there because his mental can handle it. The misunderstanding of what daddy's trying to tell you. This ain't a daddy moment.
That interview is exactly why Charleston's apology started hitting different online. Because once the father said he was told to get white attorneys, people immediately started connecting dots. Some viewers began asking whether Charleston had influenced that thinking. Others pointed out that there were multiple people around the family, multiple voices online, and multiple legal opinions being thrown around during one of the most stressful moments of their lives. So let's be clear. Without a direct, confirmed statement, nobody should put that entire decision on one person. But what we can say is this: Charleston himself sounded like he felt personally connected to the advice, the faith, and the hope that the system would treat Karmelo fairly. And that is why his tone was so different after the verdict. The other thing that made this even more complicated is that Charleston had previously been on the opposite side emotionally. Like a lot of people, he reacted early based on what he thought happened. But once he says he spoke to the family and learned more, his public position changed. That shift is important because it explains why he is now talking about appeal money, legal help, and trying to correct what he believes went wrong. Now listen to this next part, because this is where he explains why his opinion changed.
I did too. And I found out the truth. Why though? Because I thought the white boy. I thought he could knife to school, but he didn't. And that's when I saw you spoke to the family.
And that right there is why this story is not slowing down. The verdict is already in, the sentence is already 35 years, but the fight is clearly not over. Karmelo's legal team has already moved toward an appeal, and the biggest questions now are not just about the stabbing itself. The appeal conversation is moving toward trial procedure, jury selection, objections, and whether anything happened inside that courtroom that an appeals court may need to review. But here is the part people need to understand. An appeal is not a new trial where everybody just tells the story again from the beginning. Appeals are usually about whether the law was applied correctly, whether the judge handled key issues properly, whether objections were preserved, and whether the defendant's rights were protected during the process. That is why Charleston keeps talking about money, lawyers, and the appeal clock. Because once a conviction comes down, the next fight becomes technical, expensive, and extremely time-sensitive. And for Karmelo's family, this is where the regret becomes painful. They cannot go back and redo jury selection. They cannot go back and change every legal decision. They cannot go back and ignore advice they now question. All they can do is fight from this point forward and hope the appeal gives them something the trial did not. But no matter what side people are on, two families are living with permanent damage. Austin Metcalf's family lost a son forever. Karmelo Anthony's family is now watching their son face decades in prison. And Charleston White's reaction shows how quickly public commentary can become personal when real families, real courtrooms, and real consequences are involved. So now the question is simple. Was this case finished when the jury spoke, or is the appeal about to expose a whole new fight behind the scenes?